Welcome to Airfield Maintenance. Today we're going to learn the 821 case, which is the main priority snow equipment we use during snow operations. With this 821 case does come with a cupping plow. And what we're going to do today is we're going to do the walk around on the 821 case of what's daily maintained for daily maintenance and everyday use. Every time you get in the piece of equipment, you should do a walk around. Today we're going to start up the front with an attachment that has a regular 5-yard bucket attachment on it already. We want to come over and check the quick coupler, which is the hitch for the front of the loader. When we check this, we want to make sure the hydraulic connections are connected, no loose connections, and there's no hydraulic leaking from the hoses going up to the arm of the connector. We want to come around, we want to check the tires, make sure they're in good quality shape, no cuts, abrasions, and bulges. Make sure the rim's in good shape. Make sure all the lug nuts are securely fastened and tightened, not cracked, bent, or broken also. As we come down to the side of the loader, we got the pinch point in the loader, which articulates in the center. We have a safety bar that we want to pull off. Anytime we raise the arm of the bucket and we want to service anything underneath the bucket, we'll put this safety device in the locking arm to allow the bucket not to fall down. Also in here's grease points. And at the center of the grease points, there's one here on this cylinder here, and there's a quick grease certs right here. These two grease certs will attach and hit everything inside this unit, so there's no reason to climb up inside the pinch point of the loader to grease anything. There's also two right here. As we come down the loader, we have our step platform up into the cab of the loader. You always want to make sure it's securely fastened to the truck, make sure it's not cracked, bent, or broken, and it's also attached properly with the handrails. As we're coming to the back loader, we have the rear tires. Same thing. Make sure there's no cuts, abrasions, and bulges on the tires. Make sure the rims are in good shape. Also, you want to check your lug nuts. Make sure those securely fastened, not cracked, bent, and broken. And you also want to check your air pressure too, if the tire looks low on air. Each tire on every piece of machinery will have the rating on the tire what is required for air pressure. On the back here, you have a little compartment door. Right inside this compartment door will be the master switch to run the loader. We want to make sure the master switch is on. Then just to the left of the switch is also a switch for the hood. If you push down, the hood will close. As today in the pre-trip inspection, we want to make sure the hood is up. Once the hood's fully established up, it's on hydraulics. Also inside this little compartment is quick connects for the battery terminal. So if you have a dead battery, you can also check these connections here, hook up the battery real quick to a positive and negative ground post to jump start the unit. As we come to the back side of the engine with the hood displayed up, you'll see right here is the grease points and service hour logs for the machine. Come around to the passenger side of the loader, we just want to check the overall compartment of the engine. We may want to make sure nothing's leaking, nothing's broken, everything's attached, no loose wiring or anything. Down inside here, where my hand is the diesel fuel cap. We want to make sure the cap is securely fastened, not loose, and this will be the direct fill point when you fill diesel fuel from the fuel island. Also in this area, since this machine is newer, it comes with a DEF tank for emissions. We want to check the DEF fluid. Also inside with the fuel and the DEF, there'll be a digital display of what's left on the fuel gauge. As we're coming down to the passenger side of the unit, it's the same as the driver's side. We want to look at the tires and the rims, lug nuts. Tires in good shape, no cuts, abrasions, or bulges on the tires. Right underneath the cab of the unit is the windshield washer fluid tank. As you can see inside, want to make sure there's a proper level, and there should be a sight glass right through here to see it. Up in this compartment is the air filter container. We want to make sure it's securely fastened in place, nothing's hanging down. Normally on a pre-trip, anything that's involved with the air cleaner, we want to involve the mechanics. It's a mechanic's job to change the air filter. We just want to make sure it's in place and securely fastened. Make sure your door's closed. As we're coming down to this side of the unit, here's the pinch point again where the center of the loader articulates. Again, we have 2 grease points that grease the whole entire system on the inside, where there's no reaching or crawling up in to grease any grease points. Usually on the patch side of the arm of the loader is the manufacturer model number, what equipment, where it was purchased and where it was built. Same as the front of the loader, is the same tires as the other 3 tires. No cuts, abrasions, and bulges. Make sure your lug nuts are in place, and make sure that you have a metal cap for your valve stem. As we walk back to the front of the loader again, we still want to check this side of the hydraulics of the loader connection. Make sure there's no hydraulic leaks. Make sure all the couplings are there. And also, as you want to follow the hydraulic hose up to the top of the unit, make sure there's no hydraulic leaks. Everything looks to appear to be connected. When we come around the corner, we just want to check the loader bucket. In the front of the loader bucket, we have an edge. We want to make sure all the bolts are still in place and has proper bolts and nuts and securely fastened. All right, once you did your walk around, it should take about 5 minutes or so. Now we want to get up inside the cab of the unit. Remember, as we're climbing up into the unit, we want to do 3 points of contact at all times. Step, hand point, and hand point as you climb up for 3 points of contact. As you get up inside the unit, here's the ignition for this 821Ks. We want to cycle the key on, do not start it, allow the systems, everything to fire up and all the electronics to communicate with each other. 3 to 5 seconds goes by, turn the key, start the unit. As this unit pops up, you have a full digital display of your units. Since it is colder out today, the machine will automatically fire up to about 900 RPMs, so the engine can warm up and the hydraulic system will warm up. We'll start at the steering wheel. Here on your left-hand side is the gear shifter, and also as you look closely, you have first, second, third gears. On the other side of the steering wheel is your windshield wiper controls, your turn signals, your 4-ways, and your horn. Also, your hazards are also underneath the steering wheel. To the right of it is the rear wiper. Right down to your right side of your knee, as you can see, will be the tilt wheel. Lift up, then you can also adjust to your comfort. Up to the right, you have an AM, FM radio. To the right of the radio, you have your heat and your AC unit. To the right of the air conditioning control, or your heat and AC controls, is a control for your heated windshield and mirrors. Right here, when both green lights up, means the heated windshield and mirrors are activated. Right below the AM FM radio is our tower radio. You can communicate with air traffic anytime on the ramp. As we're going down now, we've got our full digital display of our RPMs. Also, just to the right corner of the RPMs, you can see the fuel gauge. As we go through the system, the first icon you come to looks like a speedometer gauge. You touch the pad to the right of where you want to go, and it breaks down your fuel usage, your fuel rate. You know, we're getting 3 miles a gallon out of this machine right now. I'm sorry, 3 miles to the gallon per hour. You can just cycle through this. There's really nothing in here for you need to know. A lot of this is more maintenance side of it. The next button down looks like a camera. If you tap it, it brings up the reverse camera in the rear of the unit. Next button, that looks like we have an arrow pointing up with gears. As we click on that button, that also gives us our engine or machine settings, more display settings, your lighting controls, your transmission, your fan, your auxiliary hydraulic. Really not going to need to be in there unless you're a mechanic. go back to your home button. Always at the top of the screen is the home button when you go change your screen. The next one looks like it's got a screwdriver and a wrench. We'll click on it. That comes up your maintenance, your calibration settings, your diagnostics, your security, your sensors, control information, and keypad diagnostics. A lot of this is more mechanics and fleets, but not more towards the seasonals or the operator. Then the very last button is your reset button, where you can go back and reset your hours for your fuel, your maintenance hours, so that way you know when your next service is going to be. Most of the time, 99% of the time, you want to be in this home screen. It's got your neutral, first, second, third, or drive, which is here located to the left of the steering wheel, but your icon's going to be up here, so you know which gear you're in. Right below that's the mic that controls the power radio and ground radio. Right below the mic, this is an auxiliary function that we'll show at a later time when we do the cupping plow. Well, this is where your controls is for your MB cupping plow. As we come down farther, right between the controls for the MB cupping plow, we got your parking brake, your beacon, your front lights, your rear lights. These are your transmission gears. The red buttons, as you can see, the red buttons is going to be your quick connect and disconnect for your front bucket. It shows that I have a green light for a front bucket, and my front bucket's attached to the unit. Down here where the green light's lit up, it looks like a little wheel with it's going over some ramps. That's called your float. And your boat, when this is on during your cupping plow, you'll just float across pavement